Yes, sir.
Yes. Right. I'm sorry. I think I did not know there is no one to assist me in the class here. So that's why I got held up. Can you see this slide?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. Okay. Our discussion today is on foreign currency accounts. Now, the other day, we were discussing about rupee accounts. Okay. And I showed you the website of Sampath Bank, I believe. And I believe you have seen some of the links that I have given you. Now today I just want to take you to another the website of the central bank. Now remember this website of the Department of Foreign Exchange, because most of the accounts that we are discussing today is appearing on this website. Can all of you see this website? Please answer.
No, sir.
You can see this website?
No, sir.
I can't. It's not clear what you say.
No, sir.
You can't see. Right. Now this is. Can you see this slide website?
No, sir.
We can see only the slides, sir.
You can see only the slides. Right. Okay. Now this there is a website called Department of Foreign Exchange of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Now you need to log into this website after our class is over when you want to see these accounts. Now the other day we discussed about capital transaction rupee account, did we?
Yes, sir.
We discussed, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. No, that day what I did not discuss is there is an account called the diplomatic foreign currency accounts and diplomatic rupee accounts. Now, when we discussed the rupee accounts the other day, you should know that there is another account called diplomatic rupee account, which we did not discuss. When you go to the central bank website, right, Department of Foreign Exchange, it shows various accounts that people can open under bank accounts. When you click the bank accounts, you can see inward investment account, outward investment account, personal foreign currency account, business foreign currency account, capital transaction rupee account. That is something that we discussed the other day. Then resident guest foreign currency account, right? Senior foreign national special accounts and diplomatic foreign currency accounts and diplomatic rupee accounts. Okay. Now this under your rupee accounts, what we discussed the other day, you must have this diplomatic rupee accounts noted down, please. Right. I am going to the slide now. Now, can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Right. Okay. Today we are going to discuss all about foreign currency accounts. Now, this is the first slide that we are going to discuss, the foreign exchange market, first of all. Right now, the domestic foreign exchange market in Sri Lanka has two categories. First one is the client or the retail market. Now, this has this is for the individuals, right, or institutional customers who are doing transactions involving foreign exchange. Okay. Now the next one is the interbank or the wholesale market, right? This is which is mainly for the authorized dealers in foreign exchange. Now, authorized dealers are people who has got permission from the central bank to conduct accounts in foreign exchange. All the licensed commercial banks are in this category, right? This is the market that allows foreign exchange of banks to be conducted, right? They can convert one currency to another currency like that. So this market helps manage foreign exchange liquidity. Liquidity means the money, right? The money in the foreign exchange money, right? Which is getting transacted through the banking system. Okay. Right. We'll go to the next slide. Today I am making the presentation without any assistance. That's why I have a little bit of a difficulty in going to various slides and websites. Now, the main functions, there are certain functions in the foreign exchange market, right? One of the main functions is converting one currency to another currency, right? Now, it could be rupees, that is the currency of Sri Lanka, right? Into dollars, currency of another means, right? It could be another foreign currency account of another country. Now, dollars is the currency of which country? US dollars. Can someone tell me US dollars is which country's currency?
America.
America, yeah, United States of America. Deutschmarks, which country does deal with Deutschmarks? Can someone tell me? Deutschmarks?
Sweden.
No, Deutschmarks is the currency of Germany. Okay. Now you need to know some of the, at least the main currencies. Sterling pounds is which country?
England.
Doesn't matter even. Sorry. Did someone say UK? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, United Kingdom, right? Then it also helps to minimize the risk arising from changes in exchange rate through various derivative products. We will not get into this confusing term called the derivative products. Do not worry about these terms, derivative products, because it is not coming under your examination, right? But I have a slide which explains what these derivative products are. Then I can't go to websites and show this website. Main functions in the foreign currency market. I told you that converting from one currency to another currency of another country. Then it helps to minimize the risks from changes in the exchange rate through various derivative products. I told you not to worry about this term, derivative products. Then the above features of the foreign exchange market facilitate funding imports. Now, when you want to get down certain goods from abroad, you pay for them, right? The foreign exchange market helps you to pay for those imports. Now, for instance, I want to bring down a car from Japan, right? What is the currency of Japan? Can someone tell? Sorry?
Japanese yen.
Japanese yen, yes. So I give rupees to the bank, There are, of course, there are certain regulations. I can't just give rupees and say that I want to import a car. There are a lot of other things should be done. When all those other things have been done, right, my import can be funded. Funded means I give rupees, mama rupial deala, Japanese currency, eka Japanese yen, araganwa meka aanayane karanna me wahane. That is what it means by funding imports. Converting export proceeds. You know that people in Sri Lanka, they export various goods, let's say garments. That is one of our main exports to other countries, right? So what we do is we send garments. Let's say we send garments to US, right? So in which currency do we get the United States of America? In which currency do we get the proceeds or the money for the goods that we send to America? You know the answer. What is the currency that we will get the money when we export goods to US?
US dollars.
Yes, US dollars. So when we get the US dollars, right, sometimes for the goods that were manufactured, the shirts or the skirts or whatever manufactured, the exporter will have to pay other people. Other people may have to be paid in rupees. So you have to convert the export receipts you received in US dollars to rupees. So that is what is meant by converting rupee, converting export proceeds. අපි අපනයනය කරපු බඩු වලට අපිට හම්බ වෙන සල්ලි United States dollars නම් ඒ බඩු වලට අපිට එක එක්කිනාට සල්ලි ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා නම් අපි rupees තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් බැංකුවට කියලා ඒ export proceeds ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට හම්බ වෙලා තියෙන United States dollars rupees වලට convert කරන්න. And there are various other foreign currency transactions. An example is those who are paying, those who are sitting for the CIMA examination, which is conducted by the institute in UK, right? You have to make payment. So that's a foreign currency transaction. You have to send so many pounds to them, right? Then you pay rupees to the bank, you produce your documentary evidence to the bank, and you tell the bank, okay, I want to send 20 sterling pounds or your Great British pounds, GBP, right? To sit for my exam. Therefore, please remit 20 pounds to that institute. That is what is meant by foreign currency transaction. That's a foreign currency transaction. For your imports and exports also, those are foreign currency transactions. Okay. There are risks in the foreign exchange market. Now, main risk is the volatility in the exchange rate, right? Now, the exchange rate might go up or go down. Have you heard the rupee being depreciated? Right? The value of the rupee is about nearly $200 now. So that means the rupee has depreciated, right? Or the US dollar has appreciated. The value of the US dollar has gone up. The value of the Sri Lanka rupee has gone down. That is mean by these fluctuations. Fluctuations කියන්නේ විනිමය අනුපාතය උඩ වැඩි වීම තමයි fluctuations කියන්නේ. Right? සමහර වෙලාවට US dollar එක weak වෙලා තියෙනවා නම්, right? If the US dollar is weak, we might get more rupees. But if the US dollar is strong, we might get less rupees. Or if you want to pay for US imports, you have to pay more rupees. So undue fluctuation in the rate at which one currency is converted to another currency. හරි අපි එක currency එකකින් තව currency එකක මාරු වෙනකොට සමහර වෙලාවට මේ තියෙන විනිමය අනුපාත අපිට එක්ක favorable වෙන්න පුළුවන්, එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට unfavorable වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? That is meant by undue fluctuations. You can't predict this. Right? Then if the volatility is excessive, thank you. If the volatility is excessive, it would create instability in the foreign exchange market and thereby would affect the value of foreign exchange assets and liabilities of individual institutions. Let us assume that our bank has some assets in අපේ bank balances තියෙනවා ඇමරිකාවල, right? 1000 US dollars තියෙනවා කියමු. 1000 US dollars convert කරනකොට ඒක එදා තියෙන exchange තමයි convert කරන්නේ, right? So now if there is instability in the foreign exchange market, right, the value of foreign currency assets and liabilities of individual institution might change. අපේ තියෙන US dollar balance එක ඇමරිකාවේ තියෙන US dollar balance එක රුපියල් වලින් බලනකොට සමානලාට අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපිට, right? එහෙම නැත්නම් රුපියල් වලින් බලනකොට අපිට වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඒකේ තියෙන වටිනාකම. So that is what is meant by volatility. Volatility means මේක උඩ පහත යනවා හිතන්න බැරි විදියට. Can all of you understand this? Yes or no? Do you want me to explain again? Right, okay. If someone says no, I am happy, then I can explain again if someone did not understand. Right? May foreign currency එක value එක හැමදේම විදියට තියෙන්නේ නැහැ. That is what I am trying to say. The value of a foreign currency does not remain the same every day. You must take a newspaper. Good if you can take the daily news on Mondays or every day. They give the values of the foreign currencies. Okay. Now I will take you to a website of a bank. Can you see this slide? Can you see this website?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Now, this is the website of Commercial Bank of Ceylon Limited, right? I think you should get used to going to these websites and looking at these things, because within 2 hours it's very difficult for me to cover all these things. Now you can see in the exchange rates. Now these are the exchange rates of various countries: United States US dollars, Euro, Great Britain pounds, Japanese yen, Singapore dollar, Australian dollar, right, Swiss franc. So here you can get the current currency of various countries if you go to this website. Okay, and you should know these abbreviations: USD, UR, EUR, GBP, JPY. Now when you deal in currency, foreign exchange, you either deal in currency notes, or you deal in checks, or you make telegraphic transfers. Telegraphic transfers means sending money from one bank to another bank abroad, the fastest way. Okay. Now when you buy currency, bank gives you a very low rate, right? Because now say you go to the bank and give some US dollar currency notes, they give you 193.51. But if you go and give them a US dollar check that you have received, you will get a slightly better, 25 cents better. Okay. Now if you get money from by way of a telegraphic transfer, if someone is sending a telegraphic transfer to you, you will get more. You will get about more than 1 rupee for the telegraphic transfer, because the money comes very fast to the bank. It is in the bank's hand, right? Now here, when you give them currency notes, they'll have to send it abroad, insure them and send to another this thing. They won't get the full value of the money that they send. So because of that, you get less, right? So remember that there are buying rates, there are selling rates, there are currency notes, there are checks, and there are telegraphic transfers. Telegraphic transfers is the fastest way of sending money to another country. Is that understood?
Yes,
Did
sir.
all of you
Yes,
understand that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. So we go back to the presentation. I will take you to various websites from time to time. I told you about the central bank website. Now this is the central bank website. Now this is a website that you must look at, right? Because
Excuse me, sir.
yes,
Is the telegraphic transfer is like from our local bank to the foreign bank, right?
yes, it could be both ways. Now I am a person who send money to my son in Australia. Okay. Now, if I want to make sure that he gets money fast, I will ask the bank to send the money by telegraphic transfer, right? So I have to pay little more, right? Buying rate is less, selling rate is more. Is that understood?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Now, telegraphic transfer is when I send the money today, I give the money to the bank today, and the bank sends the money, and that money goes to the other bank in Australia the same day. Okay. We will discuss that in a one or two next slides. Okay, few slides that when we discuss. Now this website is a very useful website, and you must look at this website, right? This talks about various accounts. Now, inward investment account, right? This speaks about the inward investment account, and also the government gazette and the central bank direction. Now, when you click here, you will be taken to the central bank's direction. Directions means the instructions that central bank has issued to licensed commercial banks. Here, Department of Foreign Exchange, directions issued to authorized persons on inward investment accounts. So it will say who can open the account. Eligible persons to open accounts are specified in regulations on account. Permitted credits. What is the money that can go into this account? Permitted debits. What is the money that can go out from this account? Right? In various other conditions. Right? All these things are in this website. Then outward investment account. Special account designated for persons resident in Sri Lanka to channel funds abroad. Those who are living in Sri Lanka, they want to send money to another country. Right? Now here again, it has another direction. We can't discuss all these things in the time allocated for me, right? And also, not very many questions have come in this area. So you don't have to worry and by heart everything that are given in these websites. It's not possible, right, for people to remember all these things. Every account, now this is outward investment accounts, right? Permitted credits, permitted debits, right? Other conditions, all that is listed in this thing. Now, right, I did not tell you when we were talking about rupee accounts, diplomatic rupee accounts. Okay, so there are diplomatic foreign accounts and diplomatic rupee accounts. There are two types of accounts. So you'll have to read this direction to understand what it is. Okay, we'll go to the presentation once again. So there are derivative instruments available in the foreign exchange market, such as swaps. Swap means one currency converted to another, right? Options and forwards, which don't worry about these things. There have been no questions in this area, right? Options and forwards. Forward means now you want to import a car from Japan. What you do is, now you know that the rupee value is going down, the Japanese yen is going up in value. So you know that when your car comes, you will have to pay more money than the value of the Japanese yen today. Your car comes by ship. It will take about 3 months. You enter into a forward contract with the bank, right? You tell them, okay, in 3 months time, I am getting a car. Give me a rate today. So the bank will give you a rate, right? Let's say the Japanese yen today is Japanese yen today is 186. In 3 months time, it will be more. So when you tell the bank, they will give you a rate, right? Which will be the rate 3 months later. But of course, if the Japanese yen goes down or gets weaker, it will be to your disadvantage, right? But if it is going up continuously, you enter into a rate today, and after 3 months time, if the rate has gone up by a huge margin, you don't pay that day's rate, but you pay the rate at which is given to you by the bank today. Okay. Right. We'll go back to the next right. Main risks in the foreign exchange market. We went through this slide. Okay. What are derivatives? Derivatives are securities whose value is determined by underlying assets on which it is based. Don't worry much about this term, derivatives. Right? Therefore, the underlying asset determines the price of the asset change. The derivative changes along with it. Few examples of derivatives are futures, forwards, options, and swaps. Don't worry. Remember this swap. Swap means one currency being converted to another. Forward means you enter into a contract to buy or sell foreign currency at a fixed rate, which is fixed today, 3 months later. I'll give you another this thing. You think that you're exporting goods, and the money for the goods will come in 1 month's time. But you know that currency is getting stronger. Then you will get less rupees or more rupees. But if you enter into a contract today, you can lock that rate. Okay, you don't have to worry about the fluctuations in the currency because you know exactly in 1 month's time how much you will be getting, right? Even if the exchange rate goes against you, you know exactly how much you will get. The purpose of these securities is to give products and manufacturers the possibility of hedge risks. That means if you think that the value that you're going to get is going to be less, by entering into a forward contract, you have fixed the rate today itself, right? 200 rupees for the dollar. Now, let's say in 1 month's time, the value of the dollar comes to 180 rupees. Still, you will, because you have entered into a forward contract, you will get 200 rupees. I believe it is understood, right? Don't worry about this term foreign derivatives. It has never been a question on at the exam. If there had been questions, I know what the questions were. I will tell you, discuss the questions with you all today itself. So transactions in the foreign exchange are carried out on the following basis. Now, this is something that you should know. If it is done on cash basis, immediate delivery of purchases or sales of a foreign currency on the same day, right? That means today itself, the purchase takes place or the sale takes place, and today's rate is applicable for that transaction. Then TOM basis. TOM stands for tomorrow, right? So delivery or purchase or sale of foreign currency the next business day. You enter into the transaction, but the payment you have to receive or payment you have to make will be made the next business day. Now today is Sunday, today no transactions will take place anywhere. Now let's say I entered into a transaction on Friday, right? I have to pay for some import. The rate that the bank gives me will be known on Friday, right? But the payment will have to be made on Monday, not on Friday. That is what is meant by TOM basis. Then spot basis. Delivery of purchase or sales of a foreign currency within 2 business days. Now this is generally this foreign exchange transaction, most of them are either happening on spot basis or cash basis. Okay. Now on on Friday, you entered into a transaction, the payment or sale of, let's say, US dollars. The bank will tell you, okay, our spot rate is 200 rupees and 10 cents, right? A bank tells you that on Friday, but you will make the payment or you will receive the payment on Tuesday, 2 business days. Is that understood? Can that be understood? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Then this is what I spoke to you about: purchase or sale of foreign currency at a price specified now. I told you I'm importing a car. I know that the rupee is getting weaker, right? The car is coming in 3 months' time. So I will tell the bank the Japanese yen is becoming stronger, right? In 3 months' time, I don't know what the value of the Japanese yen is going to be. Therefore, can you please give me a rate today, right? Now, this is more than 2 days. Now, here it is 2 days to spot basis. This is more than. Sometimes this could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like that. Now, bank will calculate. They will see how the future is going to be, and they will give you a rate today. Now, they will say, for the Japanese yen, you give me in 3 months, you give me 100 rupees. So you have to give only 100 rupees 3 months later. But the value of the Japanese yen may be 102 rupees on that particular day, right? So you don't have to pay 102 rupees, you pay only 100 rupees because you have entered into a forward contract. Is this understood? Or do you want me to explain again?
Understood, sir.
Understood? Anyone who did not understand, please tell me. Shall we go? Shall we go ahead? Shall we go ahead, or do you want me to explain again?
Explain again.
Explain again, right? Okay. Let me see whether I can put this on the board. I don't know how to go to the board. That's a problem now. Right. Okay. Would have been easier if I put it on the board. I'm unable to go to the can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let us see. I am bringing down a car. I have to pay in Japanese yen. Can you see? Can you see what I am writing on the board?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Today, let us see, today is 24th of January 2021. Today, the Japanese yen is 100 rupees. Okay. Now my vehicle is coming on 31st of March 2021. I do not know what the value of the Japanese yen is going to be on 31st of March 21. The rupee has weakened, Japanese yen has become stronger. Because of that, let's say the Japanese yen has become 102 rupees on that day. Okay, but if I tell the bank that I have an import, please give me a forward contract. Okay, the bank will do some calculation and bank will say, okay, in 3 months time you pay at the rate of 101. Okay, so on the 31st of March when the vehicle has come, right, even if the Japanese yen had gone up, let's say Japanese yen has gone up to about 105 rupees, right, you don't have to pay this rate because you have entered into a forward contract with the bank, right? So you pay, let's say you get down Japanese yen 1 million. The vehicle value of the vehicle is Japanese yen 1 million. So you pay only 1 million into 101, even though the rate today, on 31st of March, is 105. You see, you are saving 4 rupees on each Japanese yen. Is this understood now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right? Anyway, you will not be asked about all these things at the exam, so don't worry. I'm just telling these things for your general information. There is a thing called forward contract which will reduce the risk if the rate goes up or the rate moves in a way which is going to be disadvantage to you. So that is forward contract. I wonder whether I can cover all these things today. Right, monitoring the activities of the domestic foreign exchange market. Now, in Sri Lanka, we had this something known as the floating exchange rate system since 2001. Allowed the independent adjustment of the exchange rate according to the market forces of demand and supply. Now, the rate will move according to the demand and supply of the currency in the market, right? If there are a lot of currencies, right? Let's say generally most of the currency, the transactions take place in US dollars mainly, and also Japanese yen. There are few currencies. So the demand and the supply of these currencies will change every day. If you look at the newspapers or if you go to the websites and write down these exchange rates, you will see that the rate has changed from one to another. However, there could be interventions in the market for the purpose of curbing excess volatility in the exchange rate. Now, the central bank will step and they will curb excess volatility when the fluctuations are very high in the exchange market, and if they know that the exchange rate is uncontrollable, they will intervene and they will do some adjustment. CBSL prescribes maximum net open position limit for LCBs, licensed commercial banks, and closely monitors the activities of the domestic foreign exchange market to ensure an orderly functioning market. Now, when banks buy and sell currencies, they might sometimes have a big balance in a bank overseas. Let's say the bank has 100,000 US dollars in their account in States, right? But this exchange rate goes haywire, uncontrollable, and the value of that US dollars can come down. In order to stop that, the banks are told how much they can keep money in the form of bank balances abroad. Okay, that is what is meant by net open. This is also, I am telling you all for general knowledge purposes. They never have they asked about what is net open position. Now, foreign currency account, central bank, as you know, is the agent for government to implement the foreign exchange regulations. What I showed you, those circulars are regulations, regulatory circulars they have. Licensed commercial banks and licensed specialized banks are authorized dealers. Now, who are the authorized dealers? These two categories of people, banks. They can act on behalf of the central bank and facilitate foreign exchange transactions in Sri Lanka, right? Current transaction and capital transactions. Authorized dealers are given banking licenses under Banking Act. Now, if a bank wants to do buy or sell foreign exchange, they have to get a license, and this is the licenses have been given under the Banking Act in 1988 to various banks. Direction number 3 of 2017 under the Foreign Exchange Act number 12 of 2017 issued by central bank permits authorized dealers to open and maintain foreign currency accounts. Now, this is the circular or the direction that is given by the central bank. If you go to that central bank website, you will find that.
Excuse me.
Yes.
We cannot see the screen, sir. Slide.
Sorry.
We cannot see the slide.
I did not follow you properly.
We are
cannot
unable
see-
to see your slides, sir.
You can't see the slides. Can you see this now?
No, sir.
No. Can you see now? No?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see now?
No, sir.
No. Oh, I don't know what I did. Can you see now?
No, sir.
Have you got the handout with you?
Sir, if you left click and go to share screen, it will be all right, sir.
Left click and go to share screen.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Hit the left click, nothing comes up. Have you all been given a handout?
Yes, sir.
Right. Even without this, you can go to the handout. I'll see whether I can get this adjusted. It would have been easier for me. Wait, I'll call them and get assistance. I'm not a tech savvy person. You can't still see.
No, sir.
It's on the Google Classroom. Where is this? Anyway, can we go to the handout? You have this what the institute sent you, right? Do you have this handout?
Now we can see the screen, sir.
Now you can see the screen.
Yes, sir.
Ah, fine. I think they are monitoring me. Let me see. Can you see now? Can see or can't see?
Can't see, sir.
Can't see, sir.
Can't see.
Yeah.
Can see now? Can you see now?
Still not, sir.
No, sir.
No. Oh. Can see?
No, sir.
No. Is someone from the institute monitoring me? Can කවින්ද ආපහු මේ ස්ක්‍රීන් පේන්නේ නැහැ කියන මම මොකක් හරි එකක් කරගෙන මගේ මිස්ටේක් එකක් වෙන්නේ දෙන්න එවන්න පුළුවන්ද කවදාද? Give me a minute till I get down someone, please. I'm sorry about it. You can't still see, no?
No, sir.
Sorry about the interruption. I may have clicked on something that is not required. That is what has happened, I think. Can you see now?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
Anyway, till we get the screen, in order to right, something went wrong again. Can you see now?
No, sir.
You still don't see?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Can see, sir.
Now
Can see.
Now
Can see.
sir. Yes.
Now can see, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Right, we were here, right? Last
Yes,
we
sir.
discussed that there is a direction called Foreign Exchange Act number 12 of 2017 issued by Central Bank. We were here, right? Okay. Can you see this web page?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Again, can you see this slide?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. Okay, thank you. Right, let's go to the next slide. We are now getting into the foreign currency accounts, the types of foreign currency accounts. Foreign currency accounts which are permitted to be opened as follows: personal foreign currency accounts, that is for individuals; business foreign currency account, that is for business enterprises; inward investment accounts, any money that is going to be invested in Sri Lanka is going to be in an inward investment account, and any investment that is permitted abroad by the central bank is through a outward investment account. Okay. Now, once again, I'll take you to this central bank website. Can you see this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now you must go to these websites. Right. You go to this website. It says now under bank accounts are here. When you go to the bank accounts, investment account is explained here very briefly. Right. Then outward investment account is here. Personal foreign currency account is here. I'm going to discuss only this one because the personal foreign currency account is the account where most of the Sri Lankans, individuals, whether citizens or non-citizens, and residents or non-resident in Sri Lanka may be held as sole or joint accounts with another eligible person, are eligible to open and maintain personal foreign currency accounts as current accounts without checks. Now this personal foreign currency account, no checkbooks, right? Savings or term deposits account, and any designated foreign currency, what we will talk about what these designated foreign currency accounts are in the domestic banking unit. Now this is very important. Domestic banking unit of a licensed commercial bank or restricted dealers to the extent specified in its respective authorization and permission subject to. Now here, this is the direction for personal foreign currency account. Now I click it. Right, eligible persons shall be as per regulations. There will be another page where I know the eligible person is explained. Opening and maintaining current accounts. Here you are. Eligible persons are an individual of Sri Lankan origin, including a minor who is a resident outside Sri Lanka. Now, this is an individual. It could be given a minor, but he must be residing outside Sri Lanka. And these are the documents that are required to be given to the bank to open these accounts. Full name, nationality and foreign address, passport number. Now they will get a passport details. Then a non-national also can, who is resident in Sri Lanka, can personal foreign currency account. So they will have to get this, give these things. Now they have to give copies of passport and visa granted by the Department of. Now this is our Department of Immigration. Here visa granted by foreign government. Okay, so permitted credits shall be according to this thing. Permitted debits, what are the things, and what are the banks required to do. All this thing is explained here. Right, that is the personal foreign currency account, then business foreign currency account. These four that we discussed just now. Then there are certain other things. Resident guest foreign currency account, that is also mentioned in this website I took you to earlier. Resident guest foreign currency accounts. Okay. Direction is here. And all of you see?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Then senior foreign national special account and diplomatic. Now there are diplomats who are here in Sri Lanka. Now in the central bank website, all these things are shown, right? I will take you to one of the bank websites for you to easily understand this. I will close this also. Now here, foreign currency accounts, this is the commercial bank website. If you go to foreign currency account here, how the interest rates are paid, everything is here. Then at the top, you can see the application forms, everything, right? Everything is there. But I will take you to easier website, which is the Sampath Bank website. This is the easiest website, right? Now, outward investment account we talked about, personal foreign currency accounts we talked about, business foreign currency accounts we talked about, inward investment account. These are the four main this thing, but out of the four, these are the most important thing. Now this says who is eligible, an individual including a minor who is a Sri Lankan national, an individual of Sri Lankan origin including a minor who is resident outside Sri Lanka. a non-national resident in Sri Lanka, right? A non-national either on temporary visit or Sri Lanka, on temporary visit to Sri Lanka or intending to visit Sri Lanka. An administrator or executor. We talked about these things last week, right? Administrator and executor. Can you remember?
Yes, sir.
Right. Estate of a deceased person, right? Who maintain personal foreign currency account and that authorized dealer or restricted dealer until the completion of the administration of the, right. Now this says eligibility. Who are the people who are eligible? What are the credits? Inward remittances. Okay. Foreign currency brought into Sri Lanka. Now let's assume that I was employed abroad for some time, right? I was paid in US dollars. I was in US. I worked there, and at that time, while I was there in US, I opened a personal foreign currency account. This is the account, right? I opened that account and I sent my salary to this account in foreign currency. So now these balances in these accounts, personal foreign currency account, are not in rupees, mind you. They are in US dollars or sterling pounds or Deutschmarks or Japanese yen or whatever, right? So when I come on holiday, I bring in foreign currency, US dollar currency notes. Mudal note to I can deposit that into this account. This is a permitted credit. Permitted debit. Outward remittances. Now I am here on holiday. I have to make a payment to my house which I am occupying in US. Then I can, from this account which is in foreign currency, right? I can make an outward remittance. Outward remittance means from Sri Lanka you send the money abroad. Local disbursements. Now when I am here, my account is in foreign currency, right? I go to the bank and I say, give me change $1,000 from the balance in my account and give me rupees. Then they will do it. Similarly, the other credits also are mentioned here. Key benefits, we can make outward remittance. If you have just a rupee account, you and I can't send money abroad. We must have a foreign currency account. Give me a minute, please. So I would recommend that you, for this, since I cannot talk about each and every account, you have to go to this website and study this. Then these personal foreign currency accounts you can maintain in the form of savings accounts, current accounts or demand deposit accounts, or term deposit. Term deposits, another account, another name for term deposit is what?
FDs.
Yeah, fixed deposits. Another account for current is what?
Demand deposits.
Demand deposit savings. Now, normally for current accounts you are given a checkbook, but in the personal foreign currency accounts which are maintained by banks, you are not given a checkbook. Okay, that you have to remember. So we go back to the slide. I have given a few websites. Please go to these websites and study them, because we have no time to discuss all these things. Right. Then key features of personal foreign currency accounts only I will touch. Existing earlier, these accounts are called NRFC, non-resident foreign currency, or resident foreign currency, or resident non-national foreign currency, and non-resident non-national foreign currency accounts. All these accounts, instead of having all these 1, 2, 3, 4 categories, these were converted as, redesignated as personal foreign currency accounts. Okay. Personal foreign currency accounts are special accounts opened in designated foreign currencies, right? Only certain foreign currencies are allowed for the personal foreign currency accounts to remit earnings to Sri Lanka. People who earn money abroad, they can open these special accounts in the currencies that the central bank has specified. Maha Bankuwen kiyapu videsha mudal pamanai මේ accounts වලට එවන්න පුළුවන්. තමන් උපයපු සල්ලි වැටුප් පරේමේ මේ account වලට එවන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද මේ accounts තියෙන්නේ විදේශ මුදල් හැටියට. Accounts can be opened with here are the designated foreign currencies. US dollars, sterling, pounds, Swiss francs, all these accounts. Okay. I showed you the commercial bank website and all these abbreviations for the currencies where they are in that account. You can study that also. Minimum deposit specified by bank for each currency. Interest is paid quarterly in the same currency. Now, banks will say what is the minimum deposit you must bring in order to open an account. Now, it will differ. It may be 5,000 US dollars. It may be 1 million yen, right? Depending on the strength of the value of the currency. Interest on these accounts are paid quarterly. Every 3 months, the interest is paid. It is paid in the same currency. If you have a US dollar personal foreign currency account, you will get interest in US dollars. Accounts can be maintained, we discussed this, in the form of savings and time deposits. And I think I have missed one, as current accounts also. Eligibility: an individual including a minor who is a Sri Lankan national, an individual of Sri Lankan origin, including a minor who is resident outside, Padinciya Pitratanang, a non-national resident in Sri Lanka, let's say American citizen who has come here to work. So he's a resident, he's having a house here, he's residing here. So even though he's a American citizen, he can open a foreign currency account. Non-national either on temporary visit or to Sri Lanka or intending to visit Sri Lanka. If someone is coming to Sri Lanka, hoping to come to Sri Lanka, or who is temporarily here in Sri Lanka, can open this account. Now, if someone wants to come to Sri Lanka, if he's planning to this thing, what he can do is he can go to one of the bank's websites, download the application, fill it, send it along with the remittance. Then the account will be opened here. An administrator or executor, I told about this before. Then information and documents required to open a personal foreign currency account. For Sri Lankan national resident outside Sri Lanka, full name, nationality, and foreign address where he is staying abroad must be given. Passport number, date of issue, and validity period. Normally, what is done is you ask the customer to send the data pages of the passport. Data pages is where you have the photograph of the customer, date of issue of the passport, right? Everything is there. Then you send a photocopy of that. Then the date of departure, you have to take the page where the stamp has been put from the which shows that the date of departure from Sri Lanka. Ekat araganwa. Citizenship or nature of visa granted by foreign government when you go abroad, either for studies or maybe for employment. A visa is granted for if you are going for studies, a student visa is granted, right? And if you are going for employment visa is granted by that particular country, so that those details are also obtained. Information and documents required to open a personal foreign currency account for non-national resident in Sri Lanka. Here again, we get the name. What is your nationality? We ask them. What is your foreign address? We get that. Then address and place in Sri Lanka and designation, if any. If he has come here to work, he will have to say which company he is working, what is his designation, and local address in Sri Lanka. Copy of employment contract and salary particulars, we take this also. Copies of passport and visa granted by the Department of Immigration and Immigration of Sri Lanka. A non-national, either temporary visit or intending to visit Sri Lanka, same details. Then credits which are permitted to foreign currency accounts all types of inward remittance. Inward remittance is, inward means coming in. Remittance means the mode of sending the money. Remittances can be either in foreign currency notes, a check, a bank draft, a telegraphic transfer. Okay. Telegraphic or SWIFT. Now this has come in the form of a short question. They have asked, what is SWIFT? So if they ask you what is SWIFT, you'll have to say Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Bank drafts favoring the bank where the account is maintained. Now these are telegraphic transfer, SWIFT, bank drafts are permitted credits. Now these are foreign currency accounts, so you can't go and put your rupees into this account. That is prohibited. Foreign currency brought into Sri Lanka. Foreign currency brought into Sri Lanka could be either foreign currency notes or a check or a bank draft. Okay. Transfer from PFC account, business foreign currency accounts, and accounts of offshore banking unit. Right. We will talk about offshore banking unit. I don't think that we have time to discuss this. What I would do is I will ask the other lecturer to give me another day to discuss this offshore banking units. I think you have received a handout on this. Have you?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Please go through that. It's not very difficult to understand. If we have the time, I'll rush through that today. If the account holder resides outside Sri Lanka or a non-national resident in Sri Lanka, transferred from inward investment account. Now this inward investments account, I told you all to have a look because we are not going to discuss that in detail. You should know these two types of accounts, for personal foreign currency accounts and inward investment accounts and outward investment accounts. Those three, if you study, that's good enough. If the account holder is a non-national employee resident in Sri Lanka, monthly salary, employment benefits and other related benefits are permitted into the account. Debits permitted to. Account holder could withdraw money from a personal foreign currency account. They can go to the bank, produce the passport, ask the bank to pay the balance in the account. Through any ATM displaying Cirrus or Visa logo in the currency of the country. Right? Now you have a foreign currency account. You go to a ATM, but this is little rare in Sri Lanka, but I have done this abroad. Right? I have my account here. I can remember I went to Singapore or I think India. At the airport, there was no counter to change by Indian rupees. So what I did was I used my ATM card, put it into the ATM machine and withdrew money. Then I got the Indian rupee currency notes to my hand and my account in Sri Lanka rupees was debited here. But when you take money from ATMs, the rate is not very good for you. You are paying a little higher rate, right? So if you are going abroad and trying to withdraw money from ATMs, it is going to be a little expensive for you. Providing written instructions to pay another party, for example, family expenses. You can't go to the bank. Here you are visiting the bank person, Here you can't visit the bank. So what you do is you send a letter to the bank and say, debit my personal foreign currency account and pay rupee equivalent of $1,000 for my wife, right? So the bank will debit your account with US dollars 1,000 see what is the rate. I told you the buying rate is there, telegraphic transfer rate is there. Now for these accounts, telegraphic transfer will be applicable, right? They will pay in rupees. Submitting an application to bank with instructions to make outward remittances in any foreign currency. Okay, there are application forms in the bank, so you fill up those things and you say, right, debit my account and send $1,000 to, say, a party in US. Obtaining currency notes for travel abroad. Let's say I have a personal foreign currency account, balance is 5,000. I plan a trip abroad. I go to the bank. Of course, I have to give notice to the bank. And I will tell the bank, okay, here is my air ticket. Here is my passport. I'm going on such another date. This is the visa. Please debit my account and give me 500 US dollar currency notes if I'm going to States. If I'm going to Singapore, I will say, please give me 500 Singapore dollars. If I'm going to UK, I might say, give me British pounds, right? So designated currencies, if it is provided it's a designated currency, you can ask the bank, tell the bank. And so normally I go to Australia. When I go to Australia, my wife and I take Australian dollar currency notes to be spent there. Other foreign currency accounts. The other foreign currency accounts which are maintained in foreign currency were listed above. We talked about them in slides 10 and 11. But students are advised to visit a website of a reputed commercial bank and familiarize themselves with salient features of such accounts. I told you easiest will be Sampak Bank. The relevant directions issued by Central Bank appear on its website under Department of Foreign Exchange. They are as follows. I showed you what is the Department of Foreign Exchange website. I'll show it once again. This is the website. Can you see? Can
Yes,
all of
sir.
you see?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is the website I am asking you all to go to in order to know about these various types of account. Remember these first 3 accounts, there had been questions, right? First 3 or 4, maybe, yes. So just those are short questions, not long questions. They are given 4 answers. You have to pick the correct one. So you should know that. Right. Can you see the slides again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have given for you to remember these things, the direction number and the abbreviation of the account, business foreign currency account, resident guest foreign currency accounts, all that I have given here, right? So you should read these directions by going to the central bank website. This is another important lesson, Nostro accounts and Vostro accounts. Now, Nostro accounts and Vostro accounts are terms used to describe the same bank account. The terms are used when one bank has another bank's money on deposit. Now, Nostro accounts and Vostro accounts are not for individuals, not for Pereiras and Fernandos and Jayasingers and all that. These are for banks only. Okay. Nostro account and Vostro accounts are used to differentiate between 2 sets of accounting records kept in each bank. Nostro comes from the Latin word ours, right? Now, commercial bank or Head National Bank has an account with a bank abroad, let's say I'm scared to go to the I'm scared to go to the screen, thinking that can you see this website slide? No.
No, sir.
Oh. Right. Remember these two terms, Vostro account and Nostro account. Okay. Can you see now? No.
No, sir.
I seem to have lost. Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, see me well now?
So we can't see the slides.
No, not the slide. I'm going to write something on the board.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Right. Okay. Now we are talking about two types of account, Nostro and Vostro. You can see this.
Yes, sir.
Right. Nostro means ours. Vostro means theirs. Okay. Now let's say Sampath Bank. They have to do transactions in US dollars. So what they do is they open a US dollar account with a bank abroad. Let's say Chase Manhattan. Sampath Bank goes and open a US dollar account with Chase Manhattan Bank. Now for Sampath Bank, this Chase Manhattan Bank is their Nostro account. Okay? Can you understand? For Sampath Bank, Chase Manhattan US dollar account is their Nostro account. Can you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let's say Chase Manhattan Bank. Right? Now they had to make various payments in Sri Lanka rupees. So since they have a relationship with Sampath Bank, they decide to open an account in Sri Lanka. So in what currency will the account be opened?
Rupees.
Yes, Sri Lanka rupees. With what bank is Chase opening the account?
Sampath Bank.
Sampath Bank. No, now for the Sampath Bank, this rupee account is a Vostro account. Okay? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is not Sampath Bank, their own account. That is the account they have for Chase Manhattan Bank. So it's a Vostro account. Now, Vostro account is, if it is Sri Lanka and US, these two banks, Vostro account is in Sri Lanka rupees. Okay. Now, Nostro account for Sampath Bank, the Nostro account is maintained in US dollars. Can you remember? For Sampath Bank, this account with Chase is their account. For Sampath Bank, we'll call this is our account with Chase. It is maintained in US dollars. For Chase Manhattan Bank, the account with Sampath is maintained in rupees. It's the Vostro account. Can remember?
Yes, sir.
Right. Can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Slide you can see?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we were somewhere here, I think. Right. Once again, we come back. Nostro and Vostro are terms to describe the same bank account. Remember, for Chase, they will call the Sampath Bank account their what account? For Chase Manhattan Bank, Sampath Bank's account is Nostro or Vostro? When the Sampath Bank opens a US dollar account with Chase Manhattan Bank, it is their Nostro account. But the Chase Manhattan Bank, because it is in dollars, right, maintained for another bank in Sri Lanka, it is the Vostro account. It is the same bank account, right? Terms are becoming different. Nostro accounts and Vostro accounts are used to differentiate between two sets of accounting records kept by each bank. As I told you, Nostro comes from the Latin word ours, as in our money that is in deposit at your bank. Now, Sampath Bank will consider the US dollar account with Chase Manhattan Bank our money. For Sampath Bank, it is ours. Right? In deposit at your bank with Chase Manhattan Bank. Vostro comes from the Latin word of yours. The Chase Manhattan Bank will consider Sampath Bank's account, which is there in US, as the Vostro account because this is Sampath Bank's. Your money means Chase will tell Sampath Bank, this is your money that is in deposit at our bank. Is this understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Right. A Nostro account is a reference used by a bank A to refer to our account held by Bank B. Same example, right? This is Sampath Bank. Bank B is Chase. Nostro is a shorthand way of talking about our money that is in deposit at your bank. The Nostro account is the record of the bank that has money on deposit at another bank. Sampath Bank is having money abroad with Chase Bank. These accounts are often used to simplify settlements of trade and foreign exchange transactions. Nostro accounts differ from standard demand deposit account in that they are usually held by financial institutions and are denominated in foreign currencies. Can you remember? Always a Nostro account for a bank is an account held in another bank in another country in foreign currency. Okay. Can see this. Can see the screen,
Yes, sir.
right? For Sampath Bank, this is in USA. Nostro means this bank has a foreign currency account in another country. Can see? Okay. Please give me a right. Now for Chase Manhattan Bank, this account with Sampath Bank in Sri Lanka rupees is their Nostro account. Okay, because this is in USA, this is in Sri Lanka. For Chase Manhattan Bank also, this is a but their account, what they have with Sampath Bank is a Nostro account. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, once again, the reverse of that is the Vostro account. For Chase Manhattan Bank, sorry, for Chase Manhattan Bank, the US dollar account Sampath is having is a Vostro account. Okay? Because that is in their own currency. Right? For Chase, Sampath Bank's account is their account in US dollars. So it's a Vostro account. Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. You might have a question on that, Vostro and Nostro. Can see this slide again?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the last slide for the day is Vostro account. We have already spoken about this. Vostro is the term used by Bank B when Bank A's money is on deposit. I have explained this, right? Now, Vostro account is Vostro is a reference to yours, right? And refers to your money that is in deposit at our bank. I told you Chase Manhattan Bank will consider Sampath Bank's account, right, which is kept in US dollars as their Vostro account. A Vostro account is like any other account held by a bank. The account is a record of money owned to or maintained by a third party, typically another bank, but it can be either a company or an individual. Banks in the United Kingdom or the US often hold Vostro accounts on behalf of a foreign bank. The Vostro account is held in the currency of the country where the money is on deposit. Right? For Chase Manhattan Bank, it's a US dollar, although the money is in US dollars. That is their own country currency, no? So that's a Vostro account. I hope that this is clear enough for all of you. We will not be able to talk about foreign currency accounts in, offshore banking in just 10 minutes left. So what I would do is I will ask the other lecturer to give me another date to talk about this. But I will, for the time being, have you all obtained past papers from the institute? Yes or no? I can't hear anybody responding.
No, sir.
No. So I would advise you to get the past papers because that will help you a lot. Right? Now, for instance, some of these questions that are in March 2019, they have asked who can open an inward investment account. Who can open an inward investment account in the domestic banking unit of a licensed bank? Now, all these accounts that I am talking about today are maintained in the domestic unit. Okay. Although they are in foreign currencies, they are in the domestic unit. But now, when we talk about the offshore banking, those are not accounts in the domestic bank unit. It's the offshore banking unit. Those are accounted for separately. Okay. Now the answer for this is who can open an inward investment account in the domestic banking unit of a licensed bank? The eligible investors in or outside Sri Lanka. Okay. Then September 2018, 1A1. They have asked, answer the following multiple choice questions as most appropriate. What is not a deposit product offered to its customers by a bank? They are given 4. Minor savings accounts, resident foreign currency accounts, dormant deposits, fixed deposits. I'll tell you once again, I'll give the I'll give the 4 types of accounts: minor savings deposits, resident foreign currency accounts, dormant deposits, fixed deposits. Which one do you think is the appropriate answer? The correct answer out of this, now when you, I think you should take this, you should ask the institute how you can get past papers. Otherwise, it is very difficult for me to discuss past papers with you. Now, minor savings account is a deposit product. You all know that. right? Various Singiti account, Isuru account, like that banks have deposit accounts for minors. So that's a deposit account. Resident foreign currency account, that's a deposit account. Fixed deposit, that is a deposit account. Now the dormant deposit is not a deposit account. Dormant deposit accounts are accounts, right, which the bank keeps separately because there have been no transactions in those accounts for a long time. For instance, if someone dies, that account is transferred to the dormant section of the bank until the people who are eligible to take those monies from that account, either through the last will or letters of administration taken by the courts, until such time they are in the dormant account. So it's not considered a deposit product, right? Then here's another question. What is the special account designated for persons resident in Sri Lanka to channel funds abroad for investments under the new Foreign Exchange Act? Now, new Foreign Exchange Act, I showed you, Central Bank has issued those directions. I showed you one by one, right? Now, this answer to this is outward investment account because it is for person resident in Sri Lanka to channel funds abroad for specified investments. Okay. Now that is once again a foreign currency account, not a rupee account. Okay. March 2018, there is a question. I'm exceeding time, I think now. Question number 3. What is not a common account to be categorized as a personal foreign currency account under the new Foreign Exchange Act? They have said they are given 4 types: resident foreign currency account, resident guest foreign currency account, non-resident foreign currency account. Last one is non-resident, non-national foreign currency account. Which one do you think is the correct answer? The correct answer is resident guest foreign currency account, right? Which is not a common account, categorized as a personal foreign currency account under the new Foreign Exchange Act. Then September 17th also, second question is on a bank in Canada maintains a foreign currency account with a local bank in Sri Lanka rupees. For the local bank, it is a NRFC account, Nostro account, Vostro account, rupee account. What is the correct answer? Now I expect someone to answer.
Vostro account.
Yeah, Vostro account, because it is maintained by a bank in Canada, right, with a local bank in Sri Lanka rupees. So it's their account with us. Because of that, it becomes a Vostro account. Okay. Then right, March 2017. Question. Yeah, there is a outward investment account at banks. It asks who are eligible to open overseas investment accounts at banks. You can refer that website of the Sampath Bank and you can get the answer. We have now come to 12:30. So I will see whether I could ask and have another class for you all maybe somewhere in February. He was asked to do 3 Sundays because the unavailability of the other lecturer. So today is kind of last day for me for this month. So I'll see whether I could get another date from the other lecturer to discuss the offshore banking accounts. So can we stop here? Did all of you understand what we discussed today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we will stop the presentation for today. Once again, if you have any difficulties if you did not understand anything, I have shared my email address. I will write it once again. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I will write down the I have written my email address once again on the board. If you have anything which you did not understand, I don't mind your sending me a email so that I can respond to you. Okay, so we will stop here for today. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.